Hello, 73 Minutes fans. Let's jump right in. A zombie staggers through the paned window, seemingly oblivious to a glass that shatters noisily around it. You back away in horror, recoiling from the stench of rotting flesh and the hands that reach out toward you. So at every point of this video, I'm going to try to do the opposite of what I did in the last video. So for example, in the last video, I used a lamp to attack the zombie. In this video, you see the cushions and a glass lamp. I want to use the cushions to attack the zombie. So you grab a hold of the cushion. It's warm and fluffy, perfect for resting your head after a hard day's work, less so for battling zombies. So let's see how this goes. As the zombie lurches forward, you flail at it ineffectually with the cushion, dancing backward. Okay, so didn't work out great. Unsurprisingly. Quinn picks up one of the chairs and hurls it against the creature's back. The chair breaks, but the zombie barely seems to notice. It continues advancing. So last time I told Quinn to stay close to me, this time I'm going to tell him to attack the zombie again. Quinn looks at you, his face full of doubt, but he picks up one of the chair's broken legs anyway. Slowly, blearily, the zombie turns toward Quinn. The smell of rancid meat is thick in the air. Quinn approaches, hefting the piece of wood in his hands, raising it to swing at the creature. But before he can strike, the creature lunges forward, moving faster than you would have believed possible. It's too late. You hear teeth bite through flesh, a hideous chomping sound. Crying out in pain, Quinn pushes the creature away and staggers backward. Blood is pouring freely down his chest, and he claps his hand to his neck as if to stop the flow. White-faced and unsteady, Quinn joins you and Park on the other side of the room from the zombie. So as you can see now, Quinn is injured. You can see his icon is flashing in the top right. And later on in the mission you would have to talk about how to proceed with that, whether to separate from him because you're worried he's infected. Anyway, last time I went directly up to the landing, so this time I'm going to go into the kitchen instead. So you see a ceramic tea kettle sitting on the stovetop and a small carving knife laying on a counter beside it. So I'm going to grab the knife. The man doesn't seem to hear her. He continues advancing, his eyes hungry. Okay, let's try using the knife. Gripping the knife's hilt, you face the zombie as it approaches. I'm going to slash his face. You slash at the zombie's eyes, but he barely reacts. As you step backwards, you see the small amount of blood you've released is dry and coagulated. Okay, this is not going well. So I'm going to go out further to the backyard. As you open the door, you're brought face to face with... and there's another zombie. So I'm going to push him. You plant your palms against the zombie's chest and push, sending him flailing backwards. So you can see how it moves on the bar. So I'm going to search the yard now as the two zombies are moving towards me. You see clean-cut grass enclosed by a tall wooden fence. A muddy shovel sticks out of the ground next to what appears to be a makeshift pet grave. So I'm going to grab the shovel. And you can only hold two weapons at once, so I'm going to drop the cushion. Fairly useless. So now let's try the shovel. You bring the shovel down on a man's head, hard enough to knock him out. His head collapses into a sickly red paste, his body falling to the floor instantly. So that's one zombie down. Parker screams, though not as loudly as Quinn. So we're gonna have different expressions for the characters. They won't be smiling throughout the zombie apocalypse, but they're not in place yet. Okay, so I'm gonna try and using the shovel again on the second zombie. You try to bring the shovel down on the second man's head, but his arm lunges out and snaps the makeshift weapon in two. That didn't work. Let's go into the shed. You run for the shed, but a heavy padlock seals the door. Okay, so you can see the shed is now locked, so I'm gonna try to break in. Which takes a little bit of time. You lunge forward, kick the shed door with all of your might. The latch breaks free, the door flies open. So now I can access the shed area. Okay, so we're kind of cornered now, so hopefully we have a weapon here. The shed is cluttered with odds and ends. There are cans of paint, a ladder, a coil of rope, some brushes. There's nothing of use, except for a rusty old axe in the corner. You seize the axe from its resting place. You swing the axe in a wide arc towards the man's neck. The axe carves through like butter, far more easily than should be possible. A moment later, the man's head rolls on the ground. And that ends pretty much the test scene. It starts looping at this point. So, the things that we would like to change about this, we would like to work a lot on the light sources, polish the writing, add expressions for the characters, and obviously the later combat scenarios will become much more complicated with different, sometimes perhaps clues to uncover or, you know, puzzles to solve. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, this is already very different from the previous video when we went upstairs and found the gun in the bedside table, and it gives you an idea of you know, how much variety and how much your choices can impact things. So please let me know what you think in the comments or on the subreddit, and thank you very much for your time.